Hello, for me, wherever you find yourself under the globe, I salute you. Yeah. I had me the Chief Podcast. I had a Kuntumpu propaganda. I was system na Decoded na ya near Kija to me. Yes. I'm Sakaka Gradina about 4 years in Ghana. Yes, we have few months to the election. If you do that, we are more money and your propaganda and in Tronan from yes, and this is for one way away. The last video that make us say, NDC a party. When it comes to propaganda, we shouldn't underestimate them. Or we are very crafty and clever when it comes to propaganda. Yes, it's I say very careful. And then say almost say book video Agyapadeɛ book. Like a way to crank and then you can't send it we a man penny and Akuffo. Now this I track record. Political party. Only policy policy out. But say, Omobana, someone get careful from the propaganda. Not the eye offside, not their pushable. That has been their policy. It's only careful. I have propaganda now on the numbers. Agyapadeɛ book is the baby. I am maybe first I am on nutrition book. I mean, Chadie, a miracle while Tom went to my pa. It is a book to be a before an apple bed in my truck. Because on my penny before time, they say, to tell the wawa, and away, before you be up and I was a bank of Ghana moving. That time on social media, and I didn't remember. Job ya Africa good from and a fan for Phobia and Twaba against the before. But this time of the year, we are very careful because this time the Ghanaians we are very discerning. It is our propaganda now more than a more kind of Agyapadeɛ. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Any rational human being be at music. How possible? Akuffo ado papa yi hwabadaya wo and kwalankoa wo from wo free SHS na sabi wo pagana bibia fa nkasa sika bebrebe yi nyina no ko de be free SHS and ko sesa na on na busuafo mu fani and so no Ghana de ene ye ka no nipa before in general no yempe reading yempe research ba hono bibia ye pe fast to listen it ye tisa asam na mframa mu na no se ebe gbachiri se ebe research ni ahu sasam a ye kan eye nokware anasanya nokware no we no ano ne nipa bi absorb it. And only problem we have are NPP for NDC for a capitalize or so omutim de propaganda no wa hono na NDC propaganda no abusua for sana na medical kan we wa dwen say sabi tete kwa for ne omo asabi omanku school da na former dwen a wo boa even one more Decoded crowd and this is for propaganda to me for my dream. Well, ni nyina de say ye nipa bia Ghana for ye packing kind and pair research ye. It was tis are there that social media or tis say will be presented be gina hono mo a walk and no wa fa ne trust it is a base na se yamba na se yambe dikodu ni ampa pa mu na se ne no kwaranda ne amfa nto a ubehune nipa bi afa ne saa na omo de ye niam bi ense so omo de ye iti the miracles say we the miracle ashada nyadaje line by line word by word phrase by phrase achirichire mu nyina me ehu se Agyapadeɛ book no sa na ntuhyem na ndisi fo mo ye bibia ni hono mo a wo book no mu a ne yakadada na eba mu omo ye very smart o ndisi. They are very crafty. But say NDC pa they may say propaganda pa. Obi en hon mo obi timo omni propaganda. It yenye very careful. Agyapadeɛ book ne bi ka won sa fire toilet rule. Yes. Won't you find your toilet room so a man am on a quang and all the betch chicken cat you. So all the betch buffruto, who the betch brudo. Aha. Because and no quarry nim, almost you go a buying any more sick. Besides, a woman who say Akuffo and near my pa why any projects are what pound to man. And no any baby embe. They are not comfortable with that. A great achievement amount for Bob Papa Basono. Na Akuffo ayade no eno na nipa bi mpa o makofa sa Agyapadeɛ book we fake book we na ya na eno bango so wo gisa book we dia na wo am hu adwenko eda utrim. Wow, this is fake and a very cheap publication pa na omo ye no etu de kakum ye gine kwaku anum masam nwa no yanko ni nko tie miracles. And in someone or kafa Agyapadeɛ book no exposes line by line, word by word, phrase by phrase. Wakano. Na ye nyina ye tie. Ti misra wa tamukuchu ne yi wasum ni tie. Presentation miracles were explaining no. Na fe at the end of the year na obi tie no. Afi wa no as a discerning Ghanaian no. Ubehunu. Asa sa Ghana o maya ye wo mu. Omo ada money for omo person man ne koso no mo behu yeah eti abusuafo yeah me sama ka mo say ha no ye the chief whip podcast yeah they ha we say it as it is uncensored. Eti subscribe to this channel, yeah, like the page and share na afoforo so entie bi timi da masentino. Without much ado, let's go and listen from miracles from NPP.
Yeah, ni nyina besai. Ye to abama Dr.Bawumia na ombo de ye no ho ban na one ye kambom na de aka ye ntumi ye no so no ontumi mbo ye den enye Dr.Bawumia aba no sami okuse ye mfa ncheche Dr.Bawumia wambeti akoma nti naba no ye mfa ncheche ye somu na ye ngina ye na so prekope na ye nto aba ema no Thomas utinkwa Ghana for bebre enya nkranhye ewo wa achievement na wa achieve nim ebusuafo beye na wotwe baako na wotwe mienu yanko the business of the day ensem bi ne nam niam bi ne nam ena buku bi ena Agyapadeɛ ena yesi nana dodan Akuffo Addo ene na busua atro buku bi ena omo implement buku no ena buku ne mu niam nko na omo yusu niam bebre wenye new about 200 na so aka 4 months ekoto aba NDC for strategy no but tactics omu use efitete and one omu use omu nsua hwe omu nsese mu ba kusi. Let me put it on record and put on record here. There is no such booker MPP ni bia tro be bia ye friend Agyapadeɛ a NDC for creation, and that's not the first time President Akuffo Addo kuro mu ye bi omu friend on the Great Ashanti project. And also the same thing. Samu bebrebe kaya. That was the time NDC for catch Ghana for you. Say President Akuffo be your mampenia. Obeyi capital ne fin cry. Not their kukumase. Na na don so ba omo ka the same thing. Omo so obeyi capital fin cry. Not their coach bi. In fact, omo kaya kai say President Akuffo. Why not just obefa epono e fin cry. E their kwa Ashanti region. They did it. They said it. The same NDC people. Na e kamia koye say afi bia ye beto abebia no. E say NDC for fa intro mienu miensa bi no mo denante. No mo hopi se Ghana for besom no mato aba momo say ye beka say NDC nipa ye campaign or ka policy enyina so ye mfa to aba mo nye bida omo de ye mienu ye be di atem ne ya threaten wo ne the violence aye elections no de toso mienu no ene say ye be twantrato opponent no so ne ya chekere aso no ne ya bompa ye say nipa na okoto aba ne be je ntro ne som no mato aba etia no enye ne in the 90s they go into the year 2000 elections. NDC for say Akuffo will sack Zongo people from Ghana. Ye kwa elections no. Omo nante Ghana ha nyina ye banners. E de bobo posters bobo Zongos. E ka che Zongo fo nyina say samo to Obama Akuffo ne MPP fo me pam Zongo fo nyina free Ghana. Na omo mpom asem. Omo say Akuffo will change the capital to Kumasi. Omo ka che Ghana for say Akuffo say ye to Obama no be your mampani a on the party MPP for your man say ye be yi capital ne fin kan na Akuffo de Kumasi because I asantini. NDC they did that when we were trying to come to office with President Akuffo as a flag bearer. Almost say Akuffo will carry the sea from the coast to Ashanti region. Almost catch a Ghana for you say President Akuffo munim na samoto abama na one ne MPP ban yoko na your madwe so be fair prodo efin kan no mo de akọ Kumase. This was the NDC in the early 2000s. As in the year 2000 elections. We no mukuki omo no aye e the two MPP so. 2004 omo kache Ghana for nyina say President Akuffo any broni bi akwakowo. Broni ne fa ne gizayazi na wa wontafo Paul and Peter e transfer to papa so e kache Ghana for nyina say e na ye dwamanfo e no ye say say be on be gu ne ho fi na ya to abetia no se ne and a gizayazi ne ntafo Paul and Peter beba yenim. But in the year 2004 elections no NDC for no one trouble ako e to President Akuffo so hotel wawa almost say President Akuffo the your mind sika we your mind sika you know they akoto hotel Africa Region Hotel Emma edru baby omo ye ho demonstration e ka wonsem bebre simply because e say they intro esoa no near to abetia no NDC strategy going into election 2008 the Great Ashanti Project Bank of Ghana missing gold reserve propaganda by and the General Secretary of the NDC ye call into 2008 elections no wo kuobi na a friend say settle the record straight to say bibisa na joy an say wo kuoda bia ba be press conference we twa trouble akwa na mienu okanya kaye etwo wo ni newspaper mu say President Akuffo ni naban ewia Ghana ye go the World Bank of Ghana nyina e de kwa bruchiri. He said that and published that in his newspaper. Fifi Kote, General Secretary of the NDC ene. Owie no, eno ne the party for ekwa printed document bi. Na onim. Omo printed the bill bo kromu nyina say a bank statement of MPP mpanimfo omo akonya ewo Prudential Bank, NIB Bank, GCB Bank, ADB Bank. No mo printing MPP for mpanimfo bebre pepe bi no mo printing no mo yan te say your original bi no mo de niam bi stamp so no unam krom no mo cheche mo hwe Akuffo ne mpanimfo mo ya kronfo omo bank statement a eliki ne yekrei omo we wi 2 billion we wi 5 billion we wi 6 billion keka ni nyina no mo ko printed document bi beto obonte se hwe evidence e kire say mo hwe document nkrata e kire say MPP President Akuffo ne naban ewia Bank of Ghana gold nyina de kwa broteni no mo share document across the country. In the same year 2008 almost say Ghana MPP aban President Akuffo aban aton Ghana and crime lands nyina mamoho. When as a matter of fact, let me put it on record here today and now, no political party be anyone not buying penny for aton aban Agyapadeɛ ensase ne aban fini eduma NDC. No political party. NDC penim biya from the top to the bottom. Obiya etobi. Omo ton te say chupa chops. Omo ton factories to say chupa chops. Omo ton ensase te say kelewele any tomatoes. In fact, NDC pe any aman yoku a omo to be call parliament. E ka kire MPs ne say mon chekire mra mayen. Na sa mra no the person ya dem brand ya ne say ye de beton oman ne Agyapadeɛ oman factories ne oman ne nsase omo ton oman we nsase ne Agyapadeɛ e fa ne say factories nyina enso omo bo mo dey to be cookie document bi ye nhoma bi ye nkrata bi stamp ye e de nante Ghana he nyina atwa ntroto na Addo Akufo ne President Akuffo aban so in the year 2008 say mo hwe omo wia omo tonton nkranfo nsase nyina omo tonton Ghana nyemenya biwa they were the actual corporate. Ebiam omo say na Addo Akufo ye pamono efi Oxford omo say ye pamono from Oxford University Emma to the extent that also University at Troy ye kra ebe catch NDC for say enya no kra they say NDC you omo kan to Ghana for trim in fact omo printed document e kire say sacking letter efi Oxford omo ye fake sacking letter free Oxford the kire say ye pamono na Addo Akufo the free Oxford emma omo cheche free Ghana for Ghana he nyina. It took the Oxford University to write and say asem no omo kan no enya no kra. In some brain, Omoka for another Akufo Addo in the year 2008, or ye we smoker, or ye cocaine dealer, or pema, why yes, in fact, Omokayaka say on one year kurano, on ne kuno, NDC4. That is how wicked they can be. Omo bio manu, actually, papa nenim can say, ne ye ne hoka for or bono. on ne wo ma on ne te no NDC for the year campaign e twanto to do say ono na Addo Dan Akufo do so mne yere ekunu the NDC in the year 2012-2016 almost say samotu abama Dr. Bawumia obeyi capital town no every na Addo Dan Akufo do a moto abama na Addo Dan Akufo do a obeyi capital no efin kran e de akɔche bi na obema ɔchehene aye the most powerful king in this country. And also omo ye ho document e ye ho krata troye e cheche fa Ghana ha nyina na sambre no ne social media 2000 2004 2008 2012 2016 na social media no entintim ye te say entintim ene no nka niema ye bette wo yasum sambre no but they did it. They pasted posters of all these things across the country and lied to the people of Ghana and said, this is the evidence, these are the documents, these are facts. This is evidence that Addo Dan Akufo President Akufo omo Ashanti Great Ashanti project ombe yi capital efin kra akochebi ombe yi say eye ni nyina for my way mu simply because no pese Ghana for eto abamomo. That's what they wanted to do. In the year 2024 the same MPP the same NDC in the contest NDC for society omo the same strategy aba this time omo kofa book bi a omo akoshe demu akeka stories news items omo keka bom nti asam ne ba no ma fa no da ka ho omo keka ni nyina bom na omo de to abonten say eye book bi a na Addo Dan Akufo do ne busu akoshe demu no ma twero no na omo hwe no omo implement e wo Ghana ha. Complete fabrications, complete lies. How can we be so wicked as a people? Edi nkwa tumi keke na wo petumi a wo opportunity. We live in a democratic country. Wo opportunity say obe kire Ghana ni no kwakoto aba no de enti oto aba ma wo ade na won kan no. Why do you fabricate stories? Your entire career mo party ne ba ye nyina mo party no consistently every single elections. This is the historical fact. Must come up with one or two lies to destroy your opponent. Why? Why? And then Northtown MP Honorable Sami Okudjo Tablakwa aye no say ne propaganda ken. No kre no adane no. No aka no the brofo bebre bia fefa ho no ebiam. Enti sa wo kan na de ana wo tie so okasa na wan to obo entie ni ya. Wo badwe se de okane no kre anti sa wo beto obo ase na wo hwehwe no say or they give votes. The same strategy. 90s, 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016, 2024, NDC and Sesaya. A yentro. No creba componim. Complete fabrication. Book no friend Agyapadeɛ NDC for net nase. Na ya booka. Uko almost na the book remubiano. Omo implement it. What the NDC has basically done is that omo niama na omo kikafa MPP ne na Addo Dan Akufo do ho before 2016 elections no ye ba power in the year 2017 pe na omo ka sa niama ni nyina abo mu omo ka sa niama ni nyina abo mu na omo tro ne book and I'll prove to you say they actually wrote a book in the year 2017 changed that book in the year 2020 by simply putting together all the stories and news and incidences between 2017 and 2020 and they named it as an Agyapadeɛ document. Into what do you ankoswa what kind book na wo fi say a book I tro da niema wo mu ebem is a complete fabrication. Niema ya reporting in news in kofo articles or matro stories and kofo tro no makeka bom no mo de ahye book nim in the year 2020. But you see saniama way koswa some of us are not surprised and this goes to my Gen Z friends. This is the NDC party. This is who they are. It's we are Gen Z. Maybe I will talk about one party no maka sembia to team to ujidia. So pick your phone, Google about the NDC party, and you see who they truly are before you make a decision and you make a choice. Omumam penino dio manim nanka se bien anu aka se about wombre ebesoa and chokakra omu the film ni ade. Mo me video di okaye. Listen to what the former president himself said about lies during elections.
Emrepi no say edru election timer na amanyoko bia epre nti ne obeka bia ama nipa akoma adane ama o eno na obeka nti entra now they film no clear now they film ya de frefra no clear no ho yenka na yɛde ntro fam
nti dia obeka bia ma nipa adwen adane ama ono eno na obeka nti entra na dia film no kra na dia film. This is a former president of our nation. This is supposed to be our role model. This is supposed to be the leader of this nation. This is supposed to be the statesman of this country, telling the young people of this country, say, I'm not one brain aso. Ye koto aba. Enti dia wo beye bia na wasesa nipa dwen no wo beye entra na wo di film. Enye miracles and I make catcho. Enye Dr. Bawumia na asoma me se me fa ma no be catcho. Wa hwe video no wan kasa wo de waso ate de okan na wa wo de weni hu no e wo video dum. How can we leave the destiny and the future of our country in the hand of such a person? A man that is seeking to lead this country, a man that is seeking to be president. It will be bien anoka say ambatwo bre aso dia wo beye bia wo de besesa nipa adwen no wo beye entra now the film no cry now the film. How can we put our destiny in the hands of such a man? And this is they executing what the former president is talking about. The omanpeni dada jomama ekano and no pepe na efi the 90s ebepem 2024 NDC4 no we lied for power, says Fonka. The Ashanti Regional Chairman of Friends of Nana Kunedu Ajimai Rollins has stated that the ruling National Democratic Congress lied for power. Rashid Abu Al-Hassan said all the things the NDC propagated against the SY Akuffo regime in the run-up to the 2008 elections were lies. All the things our leaders said about former President Akuffo's government were lies that were thrown with a view to causing public disaffection for the then government in order to make us win the elections, Abu Al-Hassan emphasized. Or say, and somewhere yem penny for any ye party no, ye kafa pampeni John Kofo nyina na ye ntro no kreba kokrampo enim ye kanesa akwa enye no pe na wakasa asem no momentie dia fifi kwete otwa ntro for pampeni Kofo ne MPP aban in the year 2008 elections. Ghana for gina sound ntro no so because it's all the documents by omo printing document so na mo printing Agyapadeɛ book here you omo printing for Ghana he nyina anti we ye Ghana ni na hu book document bank statement e say omo mpeni Kofo ne na ban wi Ghana gold nyina akwa aburuchire na omo bank statement o wi Ghana scan nyina wo beje di nti no kre Ghana for bebreji die na ye to abama ndisi aban ye to ma ne wie na onya appointment omo ye the deputy finance minister and a parliament minister na tanya bia ensam na wo kafa omo mpeni Kofo ho no wa ba bem wahu wanya nyina so wakohwe gold no e wo ho na se eni ho momentie dia fifi kwetika ye.
It's no defense. Since then, have you had any evidence that indeed the MPP administration has sold the gold reserves?
Mr. Chairman, in all fairness, I mean, it was not long after that when it was obvious that the story was not true. And I was one of those people who clearly spoke to it because there was no basis at all to the story.
Did you use the same medium to publish that what you put out there boldly was incorrect?
Did I use the same medium to say so?
Yes.
I used even a greater medium, which was my voice, which traveled much further than even the paper traveled.
The chairman, this is laughable. This indeed.
This is the General Secretary of the NDC. Or that's who on call baby I what is the Nkwanchen. Then Pai Bonina say the new lie or more cookie. And they book more friend Agyapadeɛ book or matchly at one or my swire no. Then Pai Bonina say baby. Na se nyamamboa na se bem na se ye jira no so to abama NDC a. Your car in 2009 after Owini power no. Sa no be catch Ghana for say book ne de na yenim yani kakabu in the soa omo. This is the NDC for you. And that's why we are saying that we shouldn't allow them to hoodwink us like they did in the past. Remember your mom kwai no mon dada it is no mon dada and nano na akano. Mo kai say me catch them say long before the Addo Danko for the bar bemu as far back as 2008 and the NDC for sure say omo kan sem omo try say omo be ma achim for na sante for ntemu ntokwa bia bemu. Ntomo hyase say na Addo Danko for the samoto obama na obeti asanteman ahoden so obeti asanteman tumi so obema asanteman ahoden akoso na asanteman na obecheche asanteman sha ase se omo preji omo ho eko agina ho aboa emaga na manyina atumi aboa ye ho akabom no eyene na Nana Danko Akuffo se wo ogidie se na Nana Danko Akuffo betumi ate asanteman ahoden so a na me nim oman a wo frim eti ye babemu in the year 2017 pe and then this is for ekofa the first book sa book no omo to the Achim Mafia Plan. This is the book. The Achim Mafia Plan. The way forward after Nana Akuffo. The first person who posted document way NDC Nibutras and Kwaku Yenchi posted on 14th January 2017. This was 7 days. 7 days after Nana Danko Akuffo has been sworn in as president. The way forward after Nana Akuffo is sworn in as president. And then unim omo tro book no essence no medi kan akato Ghana fo nyina etim se no nadon de oni achemfo ba o mechechire oman nafa no mama oman no etese Ghana no ko meyi capital efin kan e de akoche bi o mema asanteman ho de so abafam omo keka sa de mani nyina nti omo kane mo no omo kan during sa campaign period nyina bomu de share book mu no omo de share homem right after Nana came to power. This is what they did. O kan book na bedu baby omo say as for Alan Chemantin, his popularity once more has surged up with both within the party and the country. In all honesty, he has made so much gains for Nanado and our 2016 campaign. So we must be careful dealing with him. In spite of the good works by Alan, he remains the #1 threat with the potential to stand in the way of Kenuforiata becoming president after Nanado. NDC for etro book no sabe esane se nisade hu nisua na adwen no anye emburo bia adwen tunti no omo ye mistakes nkete bi wade na omo tro ye nim ye bepa hu entoma akere mo. In this book 2017 version of the book no NDC for tro wo mu se omo ma ne ye te se Nanado eni nebusu ayo ma adwen se Nanado fi aban mu a Kenuforiata na ba bedi Nanado ade enti according to the NDC this was supposed to be a planner. Nana Danko Akuffo de nebusia for a follow. Enti Kenuforiata eba bedi Nana do ade nemom omo de omo adwi mu no omo se nipa obetumi ya ha Kenuforiata kakra na ye Alan Chemantin. That is what they put in the book. Enti say wutifie na say what kind book bi say ya. Of course. Quickly, why have beji book dedi? Because no mo si ahihye book ni ade no obeji ni nyina edie follow. Mama ka se minchiro. 4 versions. They have done 4 versions of this book. Now, what kind second version? No. Now, what kind third version? No. Now, what kind fourth version? Now, we say there is no connection between the 4 versions and this 2017 version. Because 2017 the year in some of them during campaign time. If I another one, I'm kikabo muninti. Omo twenya ye 2020 no. No more year a second version. In the second version, what they did was that Niama SCC dada between 2017 yaba bemono bepem 2020 no more canning in our bomunti or fast story we are online story reshuffle and another beye or ye we are no much omafa say or movie way ministry we are na story never no mafa or canning in our bomu no more share the second version, the 2020 version of the book. Sambre ni mwa ena minerals income fund, minerals investment income investment fund project na ban pese oye in ensuring say ye betumi enya ye sika ye gudie hu sika no bebre ne yetumi de acheche oman no Ejapa project na ba be no Sambre ni mwa na Ejapa project ne ba ye nti omu hu say now this Ejapa project has come and won sema ye bebre pe ina omo sesa book ni din from the Achim Mafia Plan to the Agyapadeɛ. And clearly, there was a 2017 book that was completely different. That book was a compilation of entronic propaganda. Omo kafa na Nana Danko Akuffo adon. In omo twenya ye do 2020 no. na niema esisi dada no omo ka ni nyina bo mu into a book and omo frɛ book no Agyapadeɛ, and the reason why they call it Agyapadeɛ was because tama na sa Agyapa project ne ba so no propaganda omo de frɛ mu ne sɛ Nana Akuffo Addo ene nebusuafo fa Ghana gold nyina akɔ and asa Agyapa project ne be a very popular term in Ghana. So the title of the book. This book na 37 pages. The very first one omo in 2020 no. Enti if you walk on bibia ba no mo de akohyem. Bibia ba no mo enti asem ni sie na anase nkomodie ni start say ekosoa no mo kenkan stories na no ma ko revise no da share book nim. Na you see esa ne say we di kan hu book no ba akobi e painti. So we sa screenshot na o ma seke ho na say hey enti we so book nim enti we so book nim enti na beti dey bi mu ka say oh na book no say yen trump a say de wo mu bia no esisi enye no kre. The fact of the matter is say open kofa any of the books na kan ubemu say content ni bia what 37 nim no any 38 pages nim third version about current one no the 39 pages asam ni see ya no ma update no ma put it and out but esa say wo kan book ni nyina completely nti unya hu person oh say we nti na we so wo book nim without really comparing. And I can tell you, if you compare all the 3 books, 1, 2, 3, 4 versions of the book, you realize that are completely different. It was your four. Now, sebi madaroma. Say ya doing ye juma kra. Say ya doing ye juma kra. Yembisa ya say. Na na don kweku for the nebusu ya fortinaze. Say ye be fa Ghana minat ye be ton afa. E no mo tro book. Omo tro book no. E na book no. Omo call printing press. E ka che printer say ya tro book e de ba be che Ghana afa. Enti yesraw print book ni man ne yan kwaton book no. Because me kan minua madam for pa Eugene say to or a journalist e wo Kumase. Or say I first came across this book in 2017 on KNUST campus. It was a hard copy document. A hard copy document. That is the Agyapadeɛ book or document. Is it real or fake? It was said to say or no. In the year 2017, you know, hard copy of sa book way na nye bia Mr. Mu. Enti nipa na mo say omo tumi atena te atro book. Ema book no mo kra mi say book no nsem nyina esisi no. Enti sa nipa we enhu nyansa. Ema mo ko print book no or the co printing press eye cover page. Eye bibia ekoton ye. I mean, how do you even expect a 9-year-old to even believe this? 9-year-old, me ba 9-year-old crowd will say them be like, ah, now where you doing? But of course, and this is for a pia asayamre because omo dane insemono, into what one hour shall be said the omo kano eye no kre. This page, sa page we, sa ukofa first edition we ya. Ube we say this part of this document where it talks about EcoBank, any Osafuma Afuba, any Senate, no, you realize that this document is not in this first document. And see, what happened was that immediately, Omampeni Akuffo the year in such a kakra, it was Senate, pepe, muko update document, no, almost share that document, no. And see, Esa say we paying inti. So when we say Oma share BBC, no more update, no more share that document here, what dream and koso. But the fact of the matter is that so who sa first document we ukoshe now bia we say sa paragraph we on Senate no, it is not in this first document. It's anya bia mpamocho. Na na dan Akuffo na ebusu afotro book. Book no first version omo ye no mo ko print ye no mo ko tonton ye. Ana eliki ye. Okay, omo kontonton ye dia ene ebisa obaba 9 years kwana cheche ni mu say asem we ono ka che na obaje dia na so man kontonton so na leak ye dia enti mpamocho first one leak ye, second one leak ye, third one leak ye. How eba ne say ena EcoBank Senate asem no any first version nim eba ne say ena Senate asem no any second version nim. The second version it doesn't have this insurance page where nyina any first and second version nim eba ne say and insurance page ni na enim anytime I make catch up say the NDC for ye nyina ne say asam ne sia na say omo say asam ne sipe no ma fa no da ko hye omo update book no and normally you realize that normally what happens is that in the morning we be nyane no no ma fa page ba ko no mo de say omo circle ho no mo circulate but esa ne say wo hu we painti what you cry enkoso but I can tell you go and pick the 3 versions of this book you'd realize that there are a lot of things a what current version no my no current version no my no de senate de ne be mu no mo de judges de supreme court judges de no e be mu when you go and check you realize that they do not appear in the previous versions. That is how wicked the NDC can be. First version 2017 and I'm the show no now I'm make say say book no your book and another dan Akuffo ne busu afọ ne troya and 2017 version should be the one that we should see being implemented. How come 2017 someone mo troya no emu bia mem until 2020 there now e be tro nsema SCC between 2018 and 2020 nsema SCC between 2018 and 2020 nkoa and a book 2017 there bibia sa enim. That is why I tell you say assembly sia no ma for no dia shame no ma share. It is never true say whatever is in the Agyapadeɛ book is being implemented. Rather it is what has already happened. No more for no dia share book no more distribute on for no dia share book no more distribute. And that is why each of the versions are kind you realize that some of the information no any ebimu. That is the reason why it's happening that way. There are 4 versions of this book. And some part of the book right there. Obi article awakwa Professor Kwekwaza article awatro. No trauma CD no. Omo fani nyina word for word no mo share book nim. Na mbisa mo question no. Na Akuffo de ba ba mu. In otro book 2017. And so otumi hu say Professor Zabetro article 2019 e ma ne fa Professor Azar article no otro in 2019 no e she 2017 book man. How does this even make sense? Opa ko page 33 o kan page 33 ya obemu say Professor Stephen Kwakwasare book na ne article no troye e was Center for Democratic Development so almost for the whole article o man jaba akumpo almost for the whole article no mo de share book nim na book na dan Akuffo de na busu afọ troye say o de be chekere o man no e ba ne sen e na sa book no etumi ade a Professor Kwakwasare etro so many years after March 13 2020 March 13th 2020 there wa he nyina mo kan nyina yi book ni mu page 33 there wa page 33 of the book ni nyina no eya ade a Professor Kwakwasare na troye e de to online March 13 2020 omo copy ni nyina no mo share book ni na do tro book no March 13 2020 na book na NDC for say na do implement no e ba ne say and at the year 2020 article Professor Kwakwasare atro no ni nyina ebe find itself in the book everything verbatim word for word omo yi ba kokra free ho omo say the GATT Amalgamated Trust received 800 million from government to ensure that ADB Prudential Bank NIB were able to meet the minimum capital requirements set out by the Bank of Ghana. These banks are either government we nyina wo book rim anye bia banking sector clean up no ye nemrebe book I will say a strategy obi ba abemu watro or they running on minor supposedly a blueprint document or they running on minor. How did you get to know about 800 million specifically that was given to Amalgamated Bank? Omo decided way a share book. That is why when you go to the second version of the book, immediately a Bank of Ghana a release the idea way on the 4th January 2019. Resources from GATT will be used to recapitalize the 2 state-owned banks to help drive and promote. Share book page 33. No, but page 33. And book also be a strategy I will implement. The person says the Ghana Amalgamated Trust received. It's another babemu. No strategy. But one trust strategy this we do 2020 no and try all trust. These are all stories a see banking sector clean up 2018 2019 stories. A see in a 2020. Omo de share book and let me show you. This is the book. cover page of the book. Please, can you open the PDF file of the book for me? The cover page of the book has the date. Please open the PDF file of the book for me. The cover page of the book has the date of the year of the book. AD 2020. AD 2020. AD 2020. That is where you can find a friend is saying book, no? And then when you open this book, great. Okay. This is the date of the book. AD 2020. AD 2020. It means that it is established. Say, this version of the book was written in 2020. This version of the book was written in 2020. How is anybody convinced that a strategy book was written at the end of somebody's tenure? How does it even make sense? How does it make sense? A strategy book that has articles of people. A strategy book that has news from online portals. How does this even make sense? But we are speaking about this today because your former president, what in another to adiwemu fake and the party for ye and I support it. Fake document, completely fake document. Now, okay, I say book ni dey ABA fake, and so nyama wo mu ni nyina ne dey aban no implement it. What is true is that nyama wo mu ni nyina nyama SCC because ye banking sector cleanup. It is about a book in 2020. Now the banking sector cleanup shiba munye because they see that. Munye because they see that. Ofa book na. In fact, in some na affair na esi no. Omofa no ma update no dey shame. And took of a previous version of the book. Sa in some na esi and no dey shame no. With the previous document. You see it only in the current document. In fact, some of them they almost share book ni nyina o. Eya no mo twa book no. One page bi no mo the red pen afa ho no ma share but esa say ya kan book no ye ho painti and no what 2027 say oh na say the book ni mu nyina no eno na ebe mu no. I can dare you go and pick the book and tell me one thing that is in the book NC ya abem. Every single thing that happened between 2017 and 2020 is what is in the book. Adie bia NC wo book ni mu no. And say between 2017 and 2020 in here, so it hasn't happened. But the book is simply a compilation of things that have happened between 2017 and 2020 stories, Bank of Ghana stories, individual person stories, or matro, no more abeshim, Niama akoso dada, news portals are reporting, no more copy, no more abeshim book. How are you telling anybody that this is a strategy document? How are you telling anybody? So this is a strategy document. To the sense, to be cast, a friend is saying in the book, say, Akuffo and in the Russia allies, and you know, they are Russia for Bekebia or Beye. In fact, the evidence, even Akuffo, a lot of the decisions that the UN has to do with Russia, or to about differently. Ghana, yet to about in a different way. So how do you even support any argument with that? Almost say, a picture be, and the picture is supposed to be Nana Seforiata the first. Nobody has a book name. They say, almost say a chem for Beji or minor fa into almost far picture. No, two kind book now. Almost says our group picture way, a book name. And according to them, this group picture is supposed to be Nana Seforiata. Mr. Mo. February 1st, 1896, exiled Prempeh the First and his retinue arrived at Cape Coast. Nana Prempeh the First. And then the pamphlet in Fonini. And so NDC for e dey akɔhye book mu say book and another dan Akuffo de ne busu afɔ troye no omo nim omo hire and omo nim asanteman hene. So mistake omo ye no so omo ye book na omo paper omo hu nti they couldn't find a picture of Nana Seforiata the First. No omo kofa picture wo Google ye na Nana Prempeh the First no omo de be hye mu na wo gidi say Nana dan Akuffo de ne busu e tro book na so omo person omo de Nana Seforiata ba book ni mu a on back of Nana Prempeh picture, on made a mistake. Who did it? Some made a mistake. Because the NDC were cooking this and they didn't know, they didn't have a picture. They put a wrong picture in place of Nana Seforiata and they are telling us that we should believe it. A book that has Nana Prempeh the First as Nana Sey Oforiatta is supposed to be a book written by Nana Sey Oforiatta and his family. Assembly see ya no makofa no mudashe Absa Bank yeah Nidin Absa no ebe I think the name came around February 2020 inti abane say and a book and another Akuffo na ebusu afo atworo a mo so be bu o mind na do ba mu 2017 na do to me ka say Absa formerly Barclays. What it means is that Absa na enkanon ye fe no Barclays and so Nidin Sisa called Absa in the year 2020. How is anybody being convinced that this is a strategy document? This is after Assembly Series no mako update book no. Assembly see ya no mako update book no. Esi ya no mako update book no. Ebi won so omo de omo hwehwia eti miracles no. Em say jama wan hwa ye be no information minister, ye be no energy minister. Miracles na eni emesi kono. Wan hwa ye be no education minister, ye be no friend say petroleum minister. No mako update. We would in the year 2020 make Dennis Miracles Abuaje the energy minister so that he can nobody a book him far nafa and far let's say in fact in some of the versions grampo no omo yi free mu omo yi niam na bi o maka eden free mu Barclays Bank Ghana now Absa Bank 2020 February. How do you tell me say buka ya tro in some na wo mu ni nyina ye niam SCC dada no ma catalog bi omo tro kye mu enu nyansi in the past and say tro book ni bia no ensi. Listen, omo tro book no second version somewhere in 2020. Now adia bia was that 2020 book ni bia ye BBC between 2017 and 2020. There is not a single incident a book ni ma SC between 2017 and 2020. There SC bia in 2024 2023 no any book ni e update o makwa ya so first version now you will not see the current matter in that version. Every other thing they said never happened and nothing of such has actually happened. Nana Akuffo any gabi o trader ko ni MPP etro book ama MPP on best spell Kojo Oponkroma din say Kojo Oponkroma na akwala awoji subscribe to me spell Kojo Oponkroma din on your mistake. But you see, because we transfer, because we yanda denti, ahopeprenti, Kojo Oponkroma no, nidi nukwa we hutro. Mo say, is Kojo, o mo say, we make Kojo Oponkroma Minister for Communications Minister, and you Kojo Oponkroma Communication Minister. Adena mo kase, a perfect document. Bibia kosono, anya Kojo Oponkroma Communications Minister. Because they see ya, no makofa. We don't patch na, me yi Kojo Oponkroma kwa that ministry. Another version of the book about no much trouble for. In the next government 2021-2024 government has already convinced Nana to move Kojo Oponkroma to the communications ministry to continue the clamp down on the opposition as well as not too friendly radio and television stations. He is already excited about this promise on two grounds. He will be deemed to remain one of the loyalists for the future. Secondly, that ministry has one of the richest, hence a conduit for him to increases. Nyase bienim. Osha buafo kra nye buafo no kwa mritwa book kan ye de buafo no mritwa book na ngasa kra enye de ubaketwa or was free senior school SHS 1 kra no o kan buafo we say adwin na deep buafo na chi no kra nti e ma buafo no ye de Kojo Oponkroma didn't say this no nti MPP4 ene friend say na Adam Akuffo do betro friend say Kojo Oponkroma di no mati Kojo Oponkroma ni odaso e wo ban nim on ye communications minister or a minister for works and housing, or yeah, a first year before member of parliament. Nidi say ni spelling no. Bank of Ghana report by Bank of Ghana release report no. Bank of Ghana release ya no mo fire, no mo share book nim, no mo share book no. How do you write a book in 2020 and compile stories and incidences between 2017 and 20? About the same outro book in 2020. Now compiling your SCC between 2017 and 20. Now the share book mu. Now, for anytime you BBC no akwa update. Over 3 versions of the book am saying nyina different. Ebi wo ha esi na e wo current version nim, wo hwa previous version nim. Enti sabe madaroma. Nipa na mo so mo book no ma bin to mo tumi implement bibia no. Enti mo nim nyansa. First one leak here, second one leak here, third one leak here. Aba. 2017 dia na mo tro ye no. Ba kumpo ni wa bem. It is only the 2021 am compile here. Modern Crawford stories in online portal shame no and a modern say everything is being implemented. I dare anybody to bring me the book. Let us sit down, pick all the 3 versions, and prove to me which of the things in the book are NNC is not there. Everything in that book is what has happened. And now, when it happens, then they will update and share. That is why there are 3 versions of the book, apart from the 2017 one. Not a single thing in the 2017 version has happened. One impo, any 2017 in 2020, they no more cast stories in the bomb. No more they are what kind we are. Now say, hey, where is here? But you see, you assume say book near 2017 or much on 2020. And nunti in a banking sector cleanup. Because banking sector cleanup, and see 2016, number 2017 book. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why are we doing this to ourselves? Now, I feel here, 2017 book, no, what can you almost say, Kanoforiata ne beji na nadu dan Akuffo Addo into the omu ye nyina no, strategy omu de Kanoforiata eba be president. Edu 2020 version omu ye no, 2020 version no. I feel almost say in the 2020 omu say the person of northern origin should be the heir apparent. Omu trying to say na nadu dan Akuffo Addo na iron strategy bi. Into Dr.Bawumia nya be ya running mate na obuku ni mo. Why in the way party mu a as at 2020 on to me predict say Dr. Bawumia was going to be the flag bearer of this party. Why e see ya no mo dey shame e shame pe no mo take screenshot no ma cycle say na ya mo screenshot no say enti say we e ba say ni previous version ma say no mo ye no ma share we nto mo share we sana na wo kan we ya because we dey can who book ne ba ko that say but I can tell you who cover the previous version now can you say we enim. You realize that as for Alan Chamanti, I think I've read this already. So 2017, our prediction was that Alan will be the flag bearer. 2020, we say I'm fana afede. Dr. Bawumia was the obvious choice, no. You know, we call updating book, no. You know, we say a person of northern origin will be say, and then when you see it, you say, oh, at the end of the year, your friend is saying, Dr. Bawumia befa, na nadu dan Akuffo Addo that plan a book that complete falsehood. Complete fabrications. Almost here, and now nadu dan Akuffo Addo plan say, or best shut down radio stations be NDC for. No, what you know, they are my MPP. But radio station back where NDC in India, you shut it there, they are my MPP. Mention one. But let it happen tomorrow. They will go and pick it and put it in the book. Omo kayaka say nadu MTN everywhere you go. Omo kayaka say nadu ebek go MTN. Kaya meanwhile the same people are moving around saying say Nanado protect MTN. Kaya kase Nanado ebegu MTN. Kaya can say yeah PDS assemble ECG PDS assemble pe no mo edit book no mo the PDS shemu. It's when you go and take the second version of the book PDS in him, but the third version it has PDS. Meanwhile PDS Nanado in the trap PDS mu. Mustafa Hamid in our essay and ebu bie no wa no kreba akompo ewum. It is quite obvious this whole book of Agyapadeɛ omacheche no a complete fabrication of the NDC. And idea omo ye wo so enuti nene omampani nankasa former president Mahama nankasa enso ekebi no. Nanka yasem a nkobi a wadi omampani de insem bi say misinformation and disinformation bi say de won fa wano entum anka disinformation and misinformation say there nka won for one ntum but on enei ordinary tum ekokan ya ka wo ye fe ne say ne campaign to say ade ne de empo tidaka yo say empo say book na ye fake cry de wo mu ne de it is all being implemented mo boss video ne ma me mesrem quickly na fan wrap it up.
There was an issue about a document called Agyapadeɛ. They said it's fabricated. But even if it's fabricated, the implementation is not fabricated. Because everything that is written in that document has been implemented. So if really somebody sat and fabricated that document, then the person can really...
And my former president, no? Yen nyina former president obia former president odi atro hene John Mahama odi atro hene John Mahama ono na bi na no kan say politics there about one dress wa di abeka bi abeta sani padwe no beka entro na odi film ogina campaign trail e mo no so kaf misinformation and disinformation. Say book and import na ye faker. Everything in the book is being implemented. I dare one person to come. Let us sit down and pick the 4 versions of the book from 2017 to the version 137 page, version 238 page, version 830, version 339 pages. Which of the things are in the book? Now mo Ghana for obianje copy. Niye said the book can be a basic BM. And yes, see ya no more update. Neba ne say na book back more versions back 4. Ade am say strategic document and nipa ne prepare answer oba be mu no. E ba ne say na wo tro the 2020. Book no wo tro the 2020. And so wonam say book no ye book a ye implement because nipa no try answer oba be mu. But the book was written in the year 2020. Na na do oba be mu 2020. Niama esi 2018 e wo book a wo tro the 2020 mu a wo say it's implemented. Ade ne si 2018 banking sector cleanup 2018-2019 year no so the abeshe book mu say meye wo the abeshe 2020 book mu but it's 2018-2019. Why are we this wicked? Why is the NDC so wicked? And the NDC for mutumo densa and the NDC for mutumo esum sa why boni ben and on my way ya NDC for all the way from the 90s 1992 1993 1994 56 all the way from the 90s bepe mu ne mu de eno mu kwa batuo bia mu betwa ntro mu ntumi mfa no kreke to say emfa nkwa batuo mu ntumi nka nche nipa no de ntu omo to abama mu this mo de ntro ni nkontompo akasa ye de we 2024 1990 no man fi mu a ye de be fi mu 2004 elections na man fi mu a ye de be fi mu 2008 elections na man fi mu a ye de be fi mu 2012 2016 elections no man fi mu a ye de be fi mu. This is 2024. The new generation of the MPP. Ya media grow. Mucho and trono 100 times. You best spend it time 200 times. Ni de judisa and trono. Enumere adia ba akope ni ebedi hujuma. Agyapadeɛ book no a complete fabrication of the NDC. Eni nyina so keto say. Enye book bia edi twemo ebronti ase so bia. Eye book a NDC for keka stories, online news, online stories bubo mu. Niama esisi dada no mkeka bo mu no mde bi eden eka ho na adechi bia no BBC no no mofa no mo dihim enti book no your versions ba ko mako 4 wo fa sa versions 4 na e bia yesronko version 1 no ye 2017 dia no bibia ni mu a esi ye 2020 omu se 2017 dia no hwi ni mu esi no mbeka niama esisi from 2017 to 2020 eka bo mu eye book elutina even things that happened in March 2020 krano e wo book a nipa no so tro in 2017 book and another dan Akuffo for the tro ye no wo say all person of reata picture no ehu na kofa asantehene nana prempe the first picture book was another tro ya so ba ba mu no nyema esisi 2020 March April February nyina e wo book nim book was another dan Akuffo for the tro ye no e ba ne say na Professor Kwekwaza story a tro ye in 2019 or 2020 a war book and another and international outro a banner na Professor Kwekwaza story a womb now there ya kwani say omo the Professor Kwekwaza story ni be mu as if say na nado na yeden etro ye ma ho kwan e man tro say enfefe e wo ye my way mu going into the elections. Ghanaians deserve better. Ghana for yourself at say mu be treat you with respect and dignity. Na mu di obuo amayen be kache yen de o pese e gira so eto abama wo be kire yen enhyehyeye awo me ni adwuma me pa adwuma cheme de obetumi yen na adwuma ba mintumi nko school because mintumi ntua cheme kwa abefa so metumi akọ school mintumi rent dan because me niska metua rent cheme kwa abefa so abema me rentika me ye mfidi adwuma me nye sika na me de ahye me adwuma mu be cheme kwa abefa so abetumi nye sika e de ahye me adwuma mu me oba me di dwa wo dwa so me pemboa na metumi me dwedi akosoro be cheme de nti abetumi aboa na me dwedi ayden akosoro me ya brantia me pese me hye adwuma se foforo cheme de nti a ekwan abefa so abeboa me na metumi nya ahoden e de ahye me adwuma se sei na ye politics. John Mahama say abatom breso a de obeke bia sese nipa dwono be ye entro kra na de afim. Dr.Bawumia say ye entreat nipa sa e de obuo ene ahobrase ene eni nipa tena wo de nipa fa sa akwan so a na wabu nenim tia wanfo obuo ma no ono ogidi say ye to abama na obe make sure say Ghana mebu ebetumi nye school mu kwan no manya skills o mu hia no mo de abeye adwuma obe make sure say mfidi adwuma ye bie no ye be bie aka ho automobile companies no dodo beba enu nti omo be ko technical and vocational school no or the mfidi no dodo beba om workshops nim no mo desua ne tumi akwanim no mo wi o matumi abenya adwuma ne bia ye Dr. Bawumia say obeboa ema 1 million young children ye train omo in digital and IT skills no matumi aye enwuma e wo wiase afa na nyina Dr. Bawumia say ye nuanom ye papa no mo import ne ma fi aboche ene mo ye businesses o mo di dwa no or the new tax regimes aba wo ho beto duties na wo port no obeto se hwim na wo make sure say duties no ene togode no ebe ye pe ana ebe kofem ase no o say duty ye ntua duty wo dollars biem duty ye betua in cedis ye be calculate in cedis empo exchange rate na wo port no o say obe pege no no de gina faako se na be ya wo betumi a predict na wetumi hu sika obehia e de yi woniama o say Ghana mebu nya gidie wonimu se ekwan bi obefa so obema Ghana ene abrochiman abeye pe no obefa so no ma ene abrochiman abeye pe ogidi say we chichichichichichi wo de ye compare other countries a nemu oyobia owo enisudi fene say enisudi hu a owo gidie kase bia wo pese wo ye no sa woni omanfo ne kabom na mu nyina mo de akomakro adwenkro eya de mo pese mu ye bia ebebem o ma ye nyina so a ye nyina so efato abama no ye ndiatem ye kasentie nipa ye ntwantro ye nkasakasa nchia ye de ane se o wadwen foforo na adwen sonko de bebo o man no odi ne huni ne hote o wakomapa o wodo ema Ghana ese former president Mahama monto abama no why momboa no no menya konwa no na de ono so betu ye no o meye ne ye hwe aha the next chapter show nyame ya doma ya wada ye besa so ehia wa ha to my Gen Z people I keep telling you this election is for us. This election is about us. Let's be ready to understand the issues and vote based on the issues. Under no circumstance should we let anybody at all exchange our future for their own personal gains. Dr. Bawumia is running against a former president, a man that had an opportunity to cause change in the lives of the people of this country, but failed woefully. A man in whose time, when we had difficulties and challenges, told us clearly that he's turned into a dead goat and he cannot be bothered by even sharp knives. A man who looked us in the eyes and told us that he's not ready to negotiate with our medical officers who were simply asking for better conditions of service. A man who said that he has seen so many strikes even during his first term and can no longer be bothered. A man who left this country in darkness for the entire period he was in office and sat down and ensured that thousands of jobs were lost, millions of people stayed at home, factories shut down. A man who sat down and allowed hundreds of thousands of young Ghanaians drop out of basic junior high school after basic education simply because their parents could not afford. This man surely cannot be one we can leave our future into. Dr. Bawumia has been a fantastic vice president. One of the most vibrant, unarguably the most active vice president we've seen in our lifetime. A vice president that is willing to work with us to fix our challenges. He's one that believes that a lot has been done, but a lot more remains for us to achieve as a people, and is ready to rally us all together behind him and lead us into the future we desire and aspire for ourselves. Let's vote for Dr. Bawumia, not just for us, but for our friends, our brothers, and the generations unborn. I'll see all of us again on Thursday at exactly 7:30 p.m. Thank you for staying with me and have a very good night.